Sometimes, your plans just don't go exactly as you would like them to, or at least how you laid them out. I had a whole other video planned for today. Went ahead, recorded it, put it up in the video editor, started doing a little bit of editing, and was like, this is going to be the video that I'm going to release next. And then I was doing some things and I was reminded of something. I was reminded of something that I said that I would do in a previous video that I hadn't done. And I thought to myself, right now would be a good time to do that. And it wouldn't take too much in terms of putting a video together for it. So this is really all about keeping my word. Now, what exactly am I talking about? Well, for those of you who are new to the channel, before I go any further, I want to welcome you here to RPG Elite. This is the place where we put the RP back into RPG for tabletop RPGs. And how we do that is by giving you tools of the trade, tips on how to make it better, and tutorials on how to use those tools and the games themselves. And we also have real deep, sometimes disturbing, sometimes provocative, sometimes I trigger people. It is what it is. Not doing it to do that. I just know that it will do that to a lot of people in the community. It's just where we're at, folks. Now, why do I do all of that? Tools, tips, tutorials, real talk. Well, so that you can have a more immersive and enjoyable tabletop RPG experience. Okay, let's get back to what I was talking about. I did a video at the end of January, and it was called, What If There Were No Fantasy Tabletop RPGs? Now, those of us who've been playing for any amount of time knows that that genre dominates in the tabletop RPG categories. And when it comes to other genres, they pretty much, for the most part, don't get any love. And this was just a hypothetical type of thing because I don't do fantasy on this channel. All I do is alternative genres to fantasy, especially when we get into our classic tabletop RPGs every Friday. We go into those deep dives of the mechanics and everything, and then we top it off by doing a 4-hour online gameplay session. I do zero fantasy when it comes to that. None. And just to let you know, it should give you a hint, by the way, I have enough content to last me several years. Several years. I don't even have to touch that genre. Now, would I have more eyeballs on the channel if I were to cover fantasy? Yeah, I would. Would there probably be more subscribers if I were to cover fantasy? Yeah. Would I feel like I'm a sellout and that I would not be pursuing the things that I actually really love? You better believe it. And I've been doing this since I got into the tabletop RPGs back in the 80s, folks. Listen, of course, the most popular tabletop RPG, which is the game that I refuse to mention by name on this channel, everybody kind of starts there. And I even started there for like a second. I can probably say, what did I do? Maybe 3 sessions. I don't even think it was that many. I'm being I'm giving some grace here. I don't think it was that many. Until I discovered Marvel superheroes. And then I didn't look back. Now, it's not that I never played it again. It was that the vast majority of my time was focused on that game. So this is not something that I'm just doing on YouTube because I'm just trying to be different. No, this is something I've done since pretty much day one. And my third, by the way, tabletop RPG was Gamma World. And then it just branched off from there. Traveler and all the rest of them, DC Heroes. I just went crazy, went bananas. So it's always been that way with me. And every time somebody tried to ask me, hey, you want to come over and play this? I'd be like, what you playing? And they would tell me the game that I refuse to mention by name on this channel. And I'd be like, I'm slick. Because everybody ad infinitum, ad nauseum was playing the game, and it's just, I just held no interest for me. I want to play the other ones. I'm interested in those. That's what I'm playing. I was the one that was introducing everybody to those games, to the alternative genre games. So again, this is nothing new. So in that video, I talked about a poll, and this poll was the same question that I asked in the video, and I put it up over on Reddit. However, there was a problem, and the problem was that I wasn't able to put all of the answers that I wanted to put in because it only lets you put in so many, and I think it's like a maximum of like 5. I'm like, oh, come on, man. So I really couldn't get the data that I wanted in reference to that. Like, what if there were no tabletop RPG or no fantasy tabletop RPGs? What would you play? What would be the genre of your focus? Well, I said in that video that we're going to return to this. I'm going to redo a poll and I'm going to put it up and we're going to return to this. And I actually did it around beginning of February, put the poll together at a different place and a different website so I can make sure I can have all of the answers that I wanted to put in there so we can start really getting the hard data on this. But I knew I had to wait a little bit in between. So I made videos, and it kind of was out of sight, out of mind. I kind of forgot about it until today. So I'm actually recording this video on the day that it releases, which I usually do not like to do. You guys know me. I like to put my schedule out way ahead of time. I like to know what I'm doing. I like to get busy and get to work with having these videos just queued and ready to go. But I needed to do this one. And just really one simple reason why, major reason, I said I would. It came out of my mouth, and I want to keep my word. So therefore, today, that is what we're going to focus on in part 2 of what if there were no fantasy tabletop RPGs. Now, you guys know what I'm talking about when I talk about fantasy. One thing I do not want to see in the comments. I do not want to see this comment. Oh, well, they're all fantasy. Okay, let me tell you what I'm going to do if I see that comment. I'm killing it. Okay? Everybody knows that. That's thinking. So let's not be smart alecky. Let's not do that. And do that, that little kind of passive trolling. Don't do it. I don't want to see that comment. If I see the comment, I'm killing it. So don't get all upset at me because you started writing a TDLR and I saw that comment and I killed it and all the time that you spent on that comment. Okay, let's not do that. We all understand what fantasy is when we talk about fantasy. All right, so let's see what you say. The poll is up. It's ready to go, y'all. And it's ready for you. And it's going to be not only at the place where I have it now, it'll always be there. It'll be up at the website when the website launches. And we're going to kind of revisit this over time, just to kind of see how, what's the temperature here when it comes to this particular thing. And also, I probably won't revisit this until we get about 200 responses, maybe more closer to 250. And then we'll revisit this. See, hey, what's the numbers? I might do this in a, YouTube community tab things or a short or just a really, really short video just to let you guys know, hey, here's the numbers. So I'm really interested in this. Really interested in this. So if you want to get in on this poll, the thing that you need to do is you need to go down in the description below, and there is the link to the poll. Click on it and vote. And if you want to leave a comment over there or over here, It's up to you. Go ahead and leave a comment. But as far as comments in particular to this vid, the question of the vid today is this: what is your favorite non-fantasy tabletop RPG? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Put it down in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. All right, folks. I didn't really have much. Like I said, this was kind of like off in left field, kind of something that I didn't plan on doing. Now that I am doing it, I'm glad that I'm doing it. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys' responses. So this is going to be fun. So if you like this video, go ahead and crush the like button. And on top of that, if you like the content in this video or any of my other videos and you're a returnee or something like that, then go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button and hitting that notification bell. And that way, anytime I come out with a video, you'll be the first to know. Well, that's going to do it for me, folks. Brother got to get out of here because he's got that video in the queue, so he is going to
exit stage left.
Peace. 5,000 leets. Outie.